And the Breeders' Cup races keep rolling along. The last race on Friday is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, a race that hopefully won't have the same controversy as last year. Best way to play it is to play it through NyraBets. Head it over to nyrabets.com. Use the promo code CUP25 for that $200 deposit match and your free $25 play. Let's go to the Keeneland Prep to start it out and take a look at a name that, I got to say, takes a little bit of courage. And the winner is, well, so far, 2 out of 4 races, they've been right. And he got it done. He got it done impressively. Really Good is also finishing third in here, and he comes back. Now, a horse that's an also-ran in here is the number 11 Reckoning Force, and I am very, very interested in him as my long shot play of the weekend. He was absolutely buried in this race. He broke a half slow. He just got totally buried, never anywhere to go at different times, and I think he's a lot better than that. I thought his effort at Kentucky Downs was good, and even his third behind I'm Very Busy, a horse we'll shortly talk about as a major player, was a very good effort because he was wide that day against the Gold Rail. So Reckoning Force to me is one horse in this race that is badly dirtied up, and his price is going to be astronomical, and I'm very interested in him. Nothing against him, the winner is. I think he's not impossible. I don't know where that last race came from because his With Anticipation with a perfect trip was awful, and suddenly he had no problem with the distance at Keeneland, and maybe I'll have no problem again, but I'm going to try to beat him in this race. It is wide open. The number 10 Web Slinger, will actually see him in this race beating Oxymore. And Oxymore might have been one of the players for Chad Brown. We mentioned that he's a player now in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. And I can't knock Web Slinger. He ran well in here. He made a big run. Nobody else closed that much. What bothers me about this race is that a number of horses that were relative also-rans, including the third-place finisher, came back in an okay race here over the weekend. And they didn't run badly, but they didn't really do anything special to acquit themselves. And I think if this race is going to produce a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf winner, you wanted to see those horses run a little bit better. You got to make decisions. There's so many horses that can win, including Major Dude. And I'm Very Busy, 2 horses that are coming out of our Pilgrim, the prep in New York. LaChase is not going to play in here. He did finish a reasonable third. I'm Very Busy. I don't think he had a major excuse in here, except that the turf had an enormous amount of give, and he's going to be on a much firmer turf course. Now, he had a perfect trip when he broke his maiden, and you can't ignore that Major Dude simply turned him away, and Major Dude really turned things around getting the turf. You can't ignore, though, that Major Dude drew post 13, which does him no favors. And given Chad Brown's general success with juveniles, I think I'm Very Busy. Probably the more dangerous one, but he had no excuse. A little bit wide, softer course. Hopefully he'll run better on a firmer course. Najarok. One of the million-dollar questions of this Breeders' Cup Juvenile races is, did they make the right decision running Najarok going long after winning impressively 2 straight times going short? And I think given the speed in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, they might have made a mistake. And I can't take a horse going long first time in this race. He got an absolutely perfect trip and a sensational ride from Manny Franco to win last time. In fact, he got great rides from Manny Franco in both races. Graham Motion's numbers stretching out in the turf are not very strong, and while I am a Nagarok fan, I'm not taking him stretching out in this race. Once again, let's give some respect to horses from California. In this particular case, Paxa Wallop is probably one of the stronger runners that they've had in these Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf races. I picked her 4th in this race because I thought he ran well in here. Now, I don't love that the horse that was second, the buyer figure that he earned of 77, is completely dichotomous to the other numbers he's gotten. But this horse seems to be improving with every race, winning quite easily and running fast enough, drew well towards the inside, and I will not be surprised when Paxa Wallop runs well in here. Let's talk about a Euro, because the Euro Silver Knot is probably going to be favored in here. And part of it is really the Charlie Appleby situation. But I do think that he ran well in winning the Solario. This is his race 3 races back. His next start, a very soft course, finished third at 3-5. Doesn't feel like he liked the course. He came back with a decent enough win. The horse that was second to him last time out in the Autumn Stakes, a Group 3, he was second in one of the big 2-year-old races on Arc Day. How strong those races were is yet to be determined. But Silver Knot coming over here, William Buick riding for Charlie Appleby. You just can't ignore these horses. And while I think he'll probably be overbet based on his accomplishment, His last race was very good, and he may be the horse to beat. He's my second choice in here. But I'm going to have to take some flyers in here with some long shots. Reckoning Force, who I picked on top, the number 11, not exactly the kind of horse that I expect to win this race, but I think he can get a piece. Maybe he'll get the right trip and get it up at a big, big price, but I've got to look for some prices in here because there's such competitive races. The number 4, Silver Knot, is my second choice. The 8, I'm very busy over the 2, Paxawalla, but I'm going to get a little wild here with the 11, A Reckoning Force. To close out Breeders' Cup Friday, the Juvenile Turf, you'll be playing it at NYRABets. Head on over if you're not a member. Use the promo code CUP25 at NYRABets.com. Free $25 play along with that $200 deposit match bonus.